2nd of June 2015. Martial Arts. Eleazar Harash. Translated by Ruah Ezekiel. Narrated by Danny King. Martial Arts. Lecture 1. Martial Arts. First idea for contemplation. Aikido. Lecture 2. Softness. Second idea for contemplation. Zen. Lecture 3. Zen. Third idea for contemplation. Let us do our protective formula. Martial Arts. Lecture 1. The true martial art is resolving the primary question, returning into the primordial life. Whoever has achieved the essence, they do not manifest. They are in the way and have success in everything. They live like everyone else, but have nothing in common with them. Such a person lives in pure joy. They do not even have a choice. They live in pure joy, and within it there is no gain and loss. Such a sage is something truthful. And when you see them, you have complete trust in them. They create relations of silent trust. The person of trust is a master of life. You may have faith, but still not have this total trust. They apply their power in an absolute, non-violent way. In Taoism, this is called the Great Way. No violence. They only share, and others listen to them. They never impose. This is the Great Way. The Great Way means completeness, coming into realization. Today, as a whole, martial arts are rules and methods, and lack of knowledge of the essence. The essence is not there. Wisdom is not there, because truth is lost. There are rules for health, techniques, methods, etc. In time, we will talk about another special martial art, Wing Chun. It is something very special, beyond arts. It is such an art that it does not need martial arts, but they have turned it into techniques and methods too. But it started from a nun who had the ability to secretly observe life. She saw the secret energy of spring, and she saw that when spring comes, winter energy has no resistance. It has nothing to show in return, and we will talk about her in time, because within her is the martial art, and later it was distorted as well. This essence, this wondrous completeness, remains yet unresolved. It is a secret even to many martial arts teachers. This completeness does not belong to techniques and created things, nor to the created world. People who look for some sort of gain in martial arts, they are lamentable people. They never achieve completeness and unity. The true warrior knows that everything is in its right place, but everything that is human has wandered off the right path. Completeness is a great virtue without any evil. The supreme martial art is hidden in pure moral traits. The true warrior does not let some mere pleasures, gains, and profits capture them and divert them from the great way. The samurai say, one who is successful in good times bears misfortune in difficult times. This means in truthful times. The most secure support of a person is their own virtues. High virtues are the strongest internal fist. When you have an aim in your life, you are no longer without protection. The martial art is important because of purposefulness, because of mastering yourself, and because of the way of discipline. If this discipline reaches all the way to the end, a pure energy and power is achieved. This is the goal. Then all techniques fall behind. Pure spirit fights. To master means to put your internal powers in order. The partner is never an adversary. They allow us to work on ourselves. They are never a foe, an enemy. Life does not forgive carelessness. It is considered that fear is also a saviour. But if you understand it, fear shows that you have to find your internal way towards yourself. And there exactly is the goal. The goal is achieving truth through experiences. Of course, after one peculiar experience, you will again be looking for the truth, but now in a different way. You have something given by truth, and this is completeness. It is important to understand that if you have searched for truth in the right way, you will be transformed. You will be initiated. You will be truthful. The truth is within, in the forbidden depth, and one has to originate from these depths. Every martial art is only a means, and in this intent the mastery is concealed. It is a means and intent, and in this intent, if the intent is pure, you will find the mastery. If it is not pure, you will train and train. What you have to remove from yourself is the unclear thinking. The good warrior is never combative. This is a sign, a diagnosis. The good warrior is never angry. They do not have this ability to be angered. Martial arts continued. First idea for contemplation. Ki energy has to turn into Shen, i.e., energy has to turn into spirit. When energy hardened, it became matter. The goal, though, is completeness, and completeness, this is the eternally enlightened life. And this is why the masters say, deliver a blow to your flaws, make them lose individuality. This is the way of the true martial art. The art of the warrior is a peculiar attitude towards the void, towards the boundlessness. In this pure thinking, something superb and great moves. This is what handles all enemies, all obstacles, no exceptions. It handles everything, but follows its own laws. The void, or the boundlessness, this is something more alive than all forms, because all forms originated from it, and whoever knows it is filled with love for all things existing. Fighting against anything is a sickness. The fighting itself. I have said, life is not a fight. Life is not questions and answers. Life is depth. But you have to enter into that depth. The way you express yourself is also a type of martial art. It is also a path that leads you towards truth. Or, if you do not express yourself in the right way, leads you away from truth. The true martial art is defined by the secret appearance of your behavior. The secret martial arts is concealed deep within the treasure of the pure heart. Within the pure heart, the secret tradition is locked. For example, Morihei, later we will talk about him. He is simply an old disciple of the White Brotherhood who also descended to show these things. The right striving increases the inner sight. The master is a supreme sage, but among ordinary people they live like a buried sage. They conceal themselves. A sage teaches not knowledge, but truthful, enlightened life. It is all in the qualities of the inner energy. The pure wisdom in martial arts is never mental. It is a purely spiritual approach. On the opposite side, there is a master spirit gazing upon you, not a person. The spirit is an escape from the enchanted circle of createdness. This is why the martial art has to free you from the mind, or from the big enslavement. And this is why the way is such. Find within you the essence. This is overcoming the mind. Pure energy is beyond the world and beyond creation. It can enter the world, but it is outside of it. I am remembering something here. For example, if someone is sick, what is the sign that they are to be cured? It depends on what energy is directed towards them. If it is human, there will be no real healing. If it is divine energy, then it already does not matter what doctors and specialists say. I will say this in a different way. If a person is sick, but they have a tremendous desire to live, then even modern medicine cannot stop them. If they are in complete desperation, then even God cannot help them. God has concealed himself. So, it depends on this tremendous desire, and of course, on choosing the path of purification. Upon this depends what energy will be directed, whether it will be healing, otherwise no money is going to help, no medicine, no doctors. The pure energy is that energy which turns into spirit. An enormous thirst for purification is needed so that you reach self-knowledge, the living reality. It is exactly here that completeness is born. It has been searching and waiting for you for a long time. It has waited for the truth within the person. This truth, in order to ripen, and then completeness appears. It forms from the inside. It is there, but it forms specifically now. Completeness cannot be explained to the external, to the created beings. Aikido, Lecture 2. Morihei, the main master, as I said, is a disciple of the White Brotherhood. At the same time, he is a great master and a being with great striving, an extraordinary striving. This is a being with deep spirituality and big diligence. He got up early at 5 a.m., he greeted the sun, and he prayed constantly. He says, "My altar is the divine. I believe in the total unity with the divine." Upon one meeting with God, he became a changed man. Truly, when you seek him for long in the right way, upon a meeting you become a completely changed person. And so, he gained the pure secret, the pure and concealed intuition. Not some hunches, not some half feelings, but the concealed, accurate intuition. Because the intuition is never wrong. Hunches are wrong. The intuition is never wrong. He could see his enemies internally. This is how he became a great and undefeatable master. He says, the right way to know the Great Spirit is to become one with it. Morihei appeared as a man, but he was spirit in action. He has achieved the most supreme level of pure energy. He possessed inhuman strength, and despite that, very fragile health. Odd combination, but it was so. A great master with great humility, and he says, I am but a mere guidepost, and you learn for yourself. When his end was near, he said, God is calling me. Some of his last words were, love is for all the world. The power of morihei was in the so-called kuki shinito. This is not explained, but it approximately means secret exercises. They are never shown on display. Approximately the following can be said: fasting, prayers, purification, a deep realization of all techniques, and an attainment of secret exercises, without them being expressed. There are such secret mudras. They will never enter the books. And so, Aikido. Aikido is non-resistance, because whoever resists always wins, and this is also a defeat. Morihei says, this non-resistance, this non-attacking, is acknowledged as the most difficult in the world, but it is the most conquering. I can say this in a different way. God's love, has no opponents. There is no effort. It defeats without effort. No one can defeat it. There is no need for God to make even the slightest gesture. God simply has no opponents, because he is a total lack of attack and non-resisting, but in the purest and supreme way. Aikido is a difficult art. It is an inner thing. This is Zen in motion, i.e., pure spirit in motion. There is no mind, no arms, no body. In Aikido, the calm consciousness is the eternal place of victory. This means this is a pure consciousness which can be defeated by nothing. It does not depend on losses and victories. Aikido is the martial art of love. It is a manifestation of the creator of the universe, but he has to have allowed you to enter into him and to know him. Then this martial art becomes supreme mastery. He has to have allowed you to merge with him. Said in a different way, only a great purity accomplishes eternal meditation. The expression of an Aikido ka must be love, not aggression. Not attack, but love. From there, every victory starts. The person of love has not physical strength, but strength of energy, spiritual strength. Aikido is the way of energy through love. The truth about Aikido is not in argument, not in the fight, but in love, because love resolves the essential things. The person of love always has a secret within them, and Morihei says, do not look for the differences, but understand what is mutual. To purify yourself, this is the way. There's an old saying, the god of martial arts never kills. The meaning in Aikido is pure spiritual travel. People with impure intentions and malicious thoughts, they are defeated beforehand. It does not matter how they train, they are defeated beforehand. They have started with a wrong move. They are defeated for the simple reason that they are outside of love. The essence of God is love, and everyone who is within love is led by God. And Morihei says, attack resistance with love. Softness, continued. Second idea for contemplation. The second idea from Aikido is softness. You have heard that Lao Tzu says, softness defeats the hard. Water defeats the rock. As much as the rock resists, the persevering drop penetrates it. This means that the drop is harder. Within itself, it has something from the true ancient warrior. It is penetration. When I perform Aikido, says morihei, I forget myself. Radiating love and softness is the victory over any situation. Aikido is a teaching not of how to defeat someone, but of how to overpower yourself, how to overcome yourself. This is why our last book, one of the best books we have published, is about the so-called divine teaching about overcoming the dark side within you. A collected, concentrated book from about 90 books of the Master. One of the best things, by the way. Translator's note. The exact title of the published book is The Divine Teaching of the Dark Side We Must Enlighten. Softness is a door of the supreme world. It is a guardian and a guard. And at the same time, it is also strictness. Softness is a thing of the boundlessness. Softness is a spiritual power which has conquered the mind. It is not mental power. Hardness is a power of the mind. Softness is a spiritual power. The person of softness knows when to be soft and when to be strict, meaning when to defend the principles of truth. A mental person does not know. In softness, a very strict truth is working. In softness, there flows a supreme spiritual neutralizing power. This softness is something deeper than any practice. It is an art, and practices are only training. Softness is at the same time strict and very gentle. Aikido is not a fight. It is not a victory. It is softness, non-resistance. This leads to mastering yourself. And this is where the true warrior is traveling towards. They are a master of themselves. Here I will say this, just by the way. Whoever desires to rule over others, they will be ruled over by dark forces. Whoever rules over themselves, in time God will become their master. But whoever wants to rule over others, they will find their own master. Said in another way, the one who has mastered themselves has a supreme power working within them, which turns into the real warrior, the so-called true warrior. In Aikido, there is no rivalry. Everything is victory over oneself. Aikido is the art of pacifying everything, and softness is a peculiar kind of strictness, like evil is a peculiar kind of good. Softness is primordial, while aggression is created, and it is something external. Aggression is secondary. It is a failed consciousness. It is something like a black hole. Softness is primordial. Aggression has a beginning. Softness has no beginning. And the Master says, softness is a great quality. The one who is soft can influence even the hardest and harshest person, even the angriest person. Softness is a peculiar type of mighty weapon. And the Master says, softness is strength of character. Without softness, life is heavy. There is a softness, though, says the Master, of mud. In this softness, a person perishes. This is the misunderstood softness. Softness is set in motion by, according to the Master, two qualities, graciousness and reasonableness. The true warrior is something internal. Essence is what is fighting within them, and not them. Essence is the sharpest sword. This means pure spirit. Aikido is before all else a way of life, and here exactly love acts. And love, according to the Master, this is God in action. Within love, God has provided our protection. But this is love as a principle, not human love, not the warped love, but love as a principle. And the Master says there is only one security. This is God within the person. Zen, Lecture 3. Zen is the natural, primordial nature. Zen is a belief in our primordial, superb nature. As you know, the Church says that in the past we were all innately sinful. This is completely wrong. Zen says that we were all innately immaculate. We just have to go back. And if we come from that point of view, we will strive to act as impeccably as possible. Zen is the ancient form of our life. This is what Zen means. Zen says, where is the answer of life? The answer is within your absolute sense of peace. If you have reached the point where you have nothing to ask God, you have achieved Zen. If you have even the smallest question, microscopic, you will wait. Zen has not yet come. Zen, this is simply an awakeness and lightness. Here, the awakened ones live naturally within their eternity. They do not seek it, they live it. Imagine that to such a person of Zen goes someone from the Church. It has happened to preach to them. Not only is it futile, it is just stupid not to be able to feel like when they asked the Master, one evangelist, do you know the gospel? No, I live it. What is there to know about? There is no need for knowledge at all. One man went to a Zen master to convert him to the faith, and the master said, who is your master? Christ. What does Christ say? Well, so and so. Enough. He thinks like me. That's it. No need for more conversations. No need for any excess words. According to Zen, all that is pure must be respected, and the impure must simply be purified. Zen naturally lives in the golden age. It does not wait for it, but it lives in the golden age, i.e. within truthfulness. This is the golden age. In a different way, if I have to say this, truthfulness, i.e. in the timeless, in the eternal, in the boundless, and others search for it and call it promised land. Well, for some, it is still only promised. In this Zen awakening, there is the only real education, because the awakened one acts according to the laws of truth and to the laws of peace. For the awakened ones, Zen, this is the meaning of life. The way of Zen is the self-awakening of the own truthfulness, the own essence, which means that Zen does not make this mistake of waiting for a savior, because it will be too late. You have to save yourself. Otherwise, you will be waiting for a very long time. If the second coming comes or the third coming, you will regret. Zen is very direct. Its nature is the nature of God. Very simple, very honest. So simple, you may not understand what it wants to say to you. Zen acts like the truth. Zen, this is the method that leads to self-knowledge. Zen is the same as selling water by the wellspring, an easy task. I want to say, Zen is very clear and very elusive. It is both clear and concealed. And so, the wisdom of Zen, the most important thing, according to Zen, is to figure out what the most important thing is. When you are deluded and full of doubt, even 1,000 books of sacred scriptures are not enough. 1,000 books of sacred scriptures are not enough when you are impure and deluded. When you have achieved an understanding of things, even one word, not writings, even a single word, is too much. See how Zen talks. One word, one hint, one unspoken silence, and that is already too much. Not knowing how close truth is, people are looking for it far away. Zen says, what a pity. A disciple said to his master, I am very discouraged. In total desperation, he said. Encourage others, and you will be encouraged. The seekers of truth find the quiet of the way, the quiet of their own eternal path. The enemy, according to Zen, this is ourselves, not the world surrounding us. Our fulfilled wishes do not give us security. They do not give us this simplicity which is primordial and is also clarity. Complicatedness is a false state of being. A person who has lost a simple understanding, they have lost a lot. If they cannot understand the simple things, this means the person is in trouble. It might be too late to help them. Simplicity is beautiful, says Zen, and complicatedness is in a rut. You have heard this saying, do not make an elephant out of a fly. Translator's note, an equivalent of making a mountain out of a molehill. Some people make a few elephants and a few whales out of a fly. But from these elephants, not only must you make a fly, but the fly must also disappear. This is the right way. Simplicity is a sword of wind. Purity is a voice composed of silence. Zen is a manuscript of light. There are no sacred scriptures here. In Zen, just simplicity is enough. It is the clarity which is the right way. There is no need for any authority, any holy books. So Zen is a manuscript of light, a pure scripture with no impurities, which is why it is so difficult to understand, because it is so simple, like pure water. A brother said to me, but I do not understand. What is this? Purity. I used to talk to him about purity. He said, I do not understand. Okay, if I give you water from a swamp and water from a wellspring. He still said nothing. It's okay. Within Zen is the peace. There, enlightenment is found as well. Only peace can see the boundlessness, and naturally at that, you cannot travel the way until you have become the way itself, simplicity itself. Walking on the way, you are walking within yourself, not somewhere. There is no sensibility in walking somewhere. You are walking within yourself. This is the way. The question is, have you started walking in the right way? In what is the way? Zen says, in everyday, healthy sense. Note this, no need for teachings, books, authorities, writings, the everyday, healthy sense. You have it written in your heart. Even if you do not have it, you still have it. The ultimate purpose of Zen is achieving the self. The Zen gaze is very peculiar. It sees beauty even in the ruined life. Note this, beauty in the ruined life too. It is there. Whether you will see it depends on whether you are in Zen. Zen sees beauty even in disappointments. They are full of charm. Sometimes I might explain this in particular. Now I am saying what Zen says. Zen sees beauty in failures as well, because in Zen everything is uniquely beautiful, uniquely beautiful. Such beauty cannot be repeated anymore. Zen lives in the undying light, and this is the Bible verse, hallowed be thy name. Translator's note, in Bulgarian, the word for hallowed and the word for light have the same origin. Here, this verse is fulfilled completely. It is not interpreted. It is not understood. It is not practiced. You simply live in it. Zen, continued. Third idea for contemplation. What is the way? Chuang Tzu says, everyday life is the way, meaning you do not look for it in books. Your everyday life is the way. What is Zen? Chuang Tzu says, can a cloud be nailed to the sky? Meaning, your natural travelling, this is the way. You will not be punished for your anger. You will be punished by your anger. So says Zen. So, you will not be punished for your anger, but by your anger. Do not let others confuse you. If there is no ego, there is no worry. What has been left unspoken is also important. When passions are under control, external temptations are weak. No matter how much they tempt you, they are weak. If they come, welcome. I say, rob their strength. This is why they come. Human planning is always hopeless. As a whole, all human plans, including security, are something very pitiful, because it comes to mind. A reasonable person never tries to secure themselves. They never look for security. God secures them, but they know who they have devoted themselves to as a principle. They do not have this idea at all. It is not their job. According to the Master, it is the task of supreme beings, but it is asked, are you within your primordial way? This is according to the Master, love, wisdom, and truth. If you are within this way, the Master says, you have been secured 250 billion years ago. This matter has been resolved a very long time ago. It is not of the present. If you understand the truth, your home becomes a sacred sanctuary, so says Zen. To find that seeking happiness can bring you evil is perceptiveness. Again, we understand that happiness is a wrong aim. Truth is the aim, not happiness, and whether or not happiness is going to chase you afterwards. Because if you become a person of truth, happiness will chase you, whether or not you accept it. This is another matter, but is not to be accepted. Happiness can truly bring you evil. If you go down that road, like when a daughter asked her father, "I want to be happy," "You will be, my daughter. You will get married. You will be happy, but it will be too late." The slight change in the way of thinking leads to an unexpected change of circumstances. So, the slightest change in the way of thinking leads to a change in the circumstances. There, where you are, there exactly is your life, and there is Zen. The blade of grass in Zen is a manifestation of fine energy, the concealed nature beyond the gaze of the world. The harsh wind breaks down the trees, but the blade of grass is joyful and dances, as if it is out on a walk. So says Zen. It withstands, it plays, it merges with the wind, and the wind cannot do anything to harm it. The tree is showing off. It wants to have a special place, on a high street. There it is cut down, and in the forest it is broken down. The wind breaks down big trees, and the blade of grass breaks the wind, i.e. the wind's illusion. And so, big things, religions, sciences, political parties, will be demolished. They are trees, and the blade of grass, this is Zen. This is that quiet, humble, truthful, and sacred life. It will withstand. The rest will wait for a second coming, and whatever else. It will withstand. This is not about an external survival, but about an inner center, the place of self-knowledge. This is the message of the blade of grass in Zen. A Zen master is not interested in whether there is a God or not. Is there heaven? Is there hell? Is there afterlife? They do not waste their time with those things. They are aimed only towards truth, and it teaches them silently and introduces them into the great completeness. Is there a God? Is there not? Does not matter. They accomplish the goal. No arguments, no conversations. They are focused on truth. And if there is something else, it must come after truth. So says Zen. If there is anything else, it must come after truth. And, of course, God is there. Whatever the truth says, that is what Zen believes. In Zen, God is not a person, but boundlessness itself, the wondrous life itself. Natural, simple, honest, meaningful life. This is the wondrous life which is always in the boundlessness. Here it is in the boundlessness, and in the afterlife it is again in the boundlessness. Reality, according to Zen, is not the person, but it is the boundlessness. In Zen, there is no creator God and divine beginning. This is stupid and unthinkable in Zen. Zen does not argue. It lives within the unthinkable. It lives within God without arguing about him and without talking about him. The West is thinking, and Zen is not thinking. Zen is pure spirituality, pure civilization, living within the spirit of truth. While there is thinking, there are contradictions. There is God and there is a devil. In Zen, there is neither God nor devil, but only completeness, truth and boundlessness. This is the approach of Zen. There are never contradictions there. When truth comes, Zen says, contradictions simply disappear. The West thinks in contradictions with its mind. Zen thinks with its spirit and lives within its spirit. In Zen, all thinking has disappeared. It has merged with peace. It is buried. Zen is inside the great no beginning, the other name of God, the other name of truth. Om. Eleazar Harash. Translated by Ruah Ezekiel. Narrated by Danny King.